Hello there folks, it is TIJ Gang and welcome back to our Football Manager 2021 Beta Save with Wolves. Today it is the final episode of Season 1 and in today's episode we have a very simple task, although as you might well guess on the final days of the season it doesn't particularly ever get easy, does it? But we need 2 points from our last 3 matches to make sure we qualify for the Europa League at the end of the season. But let's go into it. Let's have a look at what has happened in the last 3 games since I've last been with you guys before we go into the last 3 games of the season. Now, in the last episode, we have a free episode special. In the last episode, we had a free game special, and hopefully we'll bring the same to you guys today, depending on what happens in this Everton game. But obviously, on the back of 2 defeats against Everton and Chelsea, we left the end of the last episode a little bit concerned, and that really the best game to play was the match against Brighton, and that's absolutely right. We went and beat them 3-0. It took a long time for us to get through. It took until the 70th minute for us to get the breakthrough. Willy Bolly getting the breakthrough, and Danny Pacheco came on late. It doesn't actually show you there, but we moved Shabani into that attacking position and brought Pacheco on for him, and he got a really nice double on the end of the game just to cement that position as beating Brighton 3-0. So that was really good. A little bit of a disappointment though at home. Funnily enough, our away form is actually starting to get better than our home form now. Our home form was something at the start of the season which was great, and we got a fairly early goal 32 minutes into that game against West Ham. João Moutinho scored it, and then we gave away a penalty. You know, VAR looks at it, and in fairness, Willy Bolly had given away the penalty, and Thomas Souček did score that goal. You can see it was a fairly even game, maybe West Ham having the better of the chances, but we took a point there. And then we went away to the Etihad Stadium. Quite simply, we put 11 players behind the ball. The City match was all about getting a draw. We might not have put 11 players behind the ball at the start. That was maybe a bit of an exaggeration. We started off with this formation, moving that attacking midfielder back to a defensive midfield slot. But then about 20 minutes in, we were sort of fairly even on possession, about 45 to 55. So we put Neves in central midfield. So we played with a 3-man midfield. Daniel Podence got a goal 37 minutes in. And then, okay, we did put Neves back to defensive midfield. Basically, we put 11 men behind the ball. Man City had a lot of chances, 18 shots, 6 on target. You can see we should be extremely happy with the result. We didn't play well at all, but we came out with a win. We came out with a massive 3 points against Man City. That has real ramifications for the Premier League. You can now see that with 3 games to go, Manchester United have a 5-point lead on their Manchester rivals. So it looks like Manchester United are going to get their first league title since Alex Ferguson left the club. Ollie's certainly at the wheel in game, isn't he? But crucially for us as well, with that unexpected 3 points, we are now back in the battle for 5th place. That battle for 5th was over, really all over and done with. But Chelsea must have had a fairly poor run. They've lost the last 2 games against Leicester and Liverpool. They've got West Brom, City and Everton to end the season with. So it's not a particularly easy end of the season. They do play against West Bromwich Albion. That must be tonight, mustn't it? I can't see them though. Or did they play? When did they play against West Brom? I can't see them. Ah, there we go. They play tomorrow. It's at the Hawthorns, and West Brom haven't had a terrible season, so I suppose you never know. But we're only 3 points behind Chelsea now, so we have got a real chance of potentially finishing 5th. And really, that's only for bragging rights, because as you can see, that little sort of orangey yellowy highlight now goes down to 7th. Because it's Manchester United and Liverpool who play in the FA Cup final, then continental football does go down to 7th this season. Everton have been a bit disappointed. They're now 10 points behind us, so they can't beat us. The only 2 clubs who can beat us are Fulham and Leeds United. We'll watch how they're getting on. Fulham play tonight against Brighton. They're currently 0-0. Of course, they are 15 minutes in. And Newcastle play against Leeds tomorrow night. So let's get into the team selection then for this first match against Everton. It'll be a toughie, but hopefully at home we can cement our advantage, get 3 points and qualify for the Europa League today. So the last 2 matches are effectively dead rubbers. It's the normal team. You know, I don't really have to go through it. We've got Adama Traore. I think it might have been after the Brighton game, or it might have even been after the Chelsea game. He is out for a few weeks, probably till the end of the season. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to play him today. Yeah, fair point that the fixture list is tough. We have got 3 games in the space of a week, which is never helpful, especially when you've got a side like Wolves, who have got quite a small squad, and you have to really, I think, credit our achievement this year. The players have played brilliantly, and we've really overachieved, haven't we, for the squad we've got. And I think going into Season 2, we're looking to get a bit more depth into the squad. I've just sold Oscar Burr. I think it was somewhere like Austin in the US. I've sold him for 1.3 million. A right back, really 4th or 5th choice. He was never going to get into the squad. And we've sold him. But that man there, the left back, Ait Nouri, is a player that we have got an optional future fee on. I think it's 20 million, so quite extensive. But for a player who's only 19... He has had a whopper of a season. He's in the shout for the Young Player of the Year, the Premier League Young Player of the Year, and deservedly so. And I think he'd be a really nice addition to the squad. We have got Johnny finally coming back. He's finally started training the last few weeks. He is Wolves' main left-back, but after a season like that, it's going to take something pretty special for Johnny to get back into the side as our first choice left back. Obviously, if I'll tell you what, that was unbelievable. It didn't go in. It certainly beat Patricio, but it didn't quite beat the post. But it's a big investment, isn't it? 20 million. So we've got to be assured that he is going to be our first choice. But at the age of 19, given the season that he's had, I think that future fee will be quite minute compared to what he might be worth, for example, in 12 months' time. And I think some of the big clubs might start to go after him given the season he's had. But we seem to be the better team here, actually, in terms of the chance. We've made more chances, but in the last few minutes, it is Everton who had the most of the chances, it seems. Fairly level on terms of possession, 50-50 bang on. Neither side really making that many chances. But unfortunately, with Fulham nor Leeds seemingly playing tonight, I thought Fulham were playing tonight, maybe not. But with neither of those sides playing tonight, we can't really gauge whether we do qualify for the Europa League. It's very much going to be one of those classics where we see... I'm going to tell the players we're not happy with their performance. We're looking for a win tonight, so it's not really how we'd planned to have started, and hopefully that'll have a positive effect on us. But it's going to be one of those classic inbox simulations, isn't it? When you press space and then you find out you've qualified for the Europa League. Not necessarily for a win here, but a win would definitely help our chance. And very nearly a fantastic start to the second half with Daniel Podence getting it in the back of the net. That's a dirty challenge there from Richarlison, goodness me. But I'm going to find it tricky to recruit in the summer, I have to say. And it's a good problem to have, but who comes in and replaces any of these players? You know, we can only really look to bring depth players in. That goalkeeper position is filled with Rui Patricio, maybe a backup goalkeeper. John Ruddy's out of contract at the end of the season. Do we bring in a younger choice who can develop? Possibly. At the back, we've got a very young back four. I think Ait Nouri is a player that we'd probably look to recruit, obviously on a loan-to-buy deal. It's really, once, as it has been this season, it's going to be depth signings, isn't it? We're going to bring Pacheco in for Pedro Neto. We're going to go attacking rather than positive. Again, it's been very much 50-50. It's going to be something narrow that's going to decide how this goes. I thought that Fulham were playing tonight, but for some reason it's not registering that any of the other teams are playing. It looks like a glitch, that does, because the goals are definitely there, but for some reason nothing else is there. But this probably is going to go for a 0-0 board draw, which isn't exactly ideal, but oh well. We've got a bit of a problem here. We've got a few players who are really, really tired. We might have to change the formation here, and that's not ideal. We're going to bring Kijana Hover on for Nelson Semedo, and it's either, I guess, Podence or Moutinho. We changed, I guess it has to be João Moutinho. We swapped Dendoncker and Neves about, as we tend to do when those players are together on the pitch. Again, different players play better when they're combined together. But Fulham are 1-0 up against Brighton. It's just changed, so that's a kick in the teeth, Fulham being 1-0 up. But, you know, as I've said, it's very much in our hands. If we can get 3 points, if we can nick a late winner here, which Everton might do. I'll tell you what, Everton have had some really close chances. Amazingly, though, our XG is above Everton's, which would suggest we've had the better of the ball. We've had the better of the play. Looks like it's going to be a 0-0 draw here. Again, we need 3 points out of these last 3 matches, so I guess that's one of those. Not the worst result in the world when you consider what happened against Everton the last time we played them. Obviously, when we played on camera, we lost 5-0 to them, so that's a damning result. Fulham keep the pressure on. They're only 3 points behind us, but Everton now cannot get a continental place, which is really going to be disappointing for them. Fulham beat Brighton 1-0 as expected, really. Brighton, the bottom club, and they are very close now to being relegated after a good run in the Premier League. I think it is confirmed now. It is confirmed that all 3 clubs that have come up are going to escape the drop. Obviously, Fulham and Leeds in emphatic style, and West Brom, you know, fairly considerably as well. If they get a win in their game in hand, I think they're playing Chelsea, aren't they? If they can get some points in their game in hand, they're going to rise up the table. So it is going to be 3 clubs who have been established in the Premier League for a number of years, particularly Brighton and Southampton. Sheffield United or Villa wouldn't be the biggest surprise in the world, but it's going to be one of those clubs who go down. But we've got Sheffield United in 4 days' time. I am going to stay with. I'm going to send my assistant for that for once, because we can't qualify, can we? No, we can't qualify even if Leeds lose. But let's have a look anyway. Let's see how Leeds get on tomorrow night playing against Newcastle. It's a double-edged one, isn't it? We're looking at both games of interest, both the Leeds United match. I don't want to. Why on earth is our assistant? This is why we don't want the assistant manager to talk. the assistant manager apparently is quite happy with Ruben Neves going to Bayern Munich. I guess every player's got a price though, haven't they? If they come up and offer 100 odd million, then he'd be someone who is probably replaceable for that amount, but nothing less than about 80 million would really tickle my fancy. Newcastle beat Leeds United, so that's a big one. That is a big one. Chelsea beat West Brom, so it goes both ways with these things, I suppose. So it looks like Chelsea are going to guarantee 5th, which isn't really too much of a surprise, but with Newcastle beating Leeds, they're pretty much out of it now. If you look at the goal difference, it would need a massive 23-goal swing for them to qualify for the Europa League ahead of us. So, Fulham are our main challengers, and that's something I really didn't expect. Looking at their last 2 games, they've got Newcastle and Manchester United. So I'd say we've probably got the better run out of the 2 sides. But 1 more point, that's all we need. 1 more point out of Sheffield United or Newcastle, and we qualify for the Europa League next season. Let's go and do it against the Blades. So this could be the day, the most important match of our season. Thank God it's not going to be an afterthought where we get Europa League football, because Fulham and Leeds are both playing tonight. I'm not really going to be watching Leeds because, to all intents and purposes, they're out of it now. But Fulham against Newcastle should be a fascinating watch. We'll keep close eyes on that one. But really, as long as we win, we don't need to look at anybody else. And we are going to go with the same squad that we've gone with before, even though they have got high injury risks. There's 2 games left of the season. I'm not really concerned about a run of football. As long as any of these games... I put my teeth back in. As long as any of these guys don't get a big injury, which I guess is the risk you play, then yeah, we'll see. Yeah, we can potentially secure a place in the Europa Conference League. Well, I would rather be in the Europa League, to be honest. I don't really want to be in the Europa Conference League, which is the Europa Cup 2, if you like. And that's starting next year, but don't really want to be in that. I'd rather be in the Europa League. I mean, for Fulham to qualify for Europe would be awesome. So that 6th place finish would be really good for us. Obviously, we've got goal difference on our side. We have got Sheffield United who are looking to stay up. Chris Basham gets an early goal. That's a surprise. Sheffield United decide that, particularly in real life, haven't scored much this year. They did sack Chris Wilder fairly early on. They've got Eddie Howe in charge, so he's looking to make sure he doesn't suffer 2 consecutive relegations, and a win today would really help them out, definitely. They'd go out of the relegation zone. But, as far as we're concerned, I don't mind Sheffield United as a side. I guess the Wolves fans would rather the Villa go down, but I think that Villa not going down is a decent... not compensation, decent compromise for us finishing in 6th. But Raul Jimenez is on the ball, trying to find some space. And Ethan Impadu, the Chelsea loanee, helps them out in double form, I suppose. But an interesting ball out to Lys Mousset. God, I remember Mousset from a Bournemouth save a few years ago, because I used to call him Musset. Typical black country, eh? Oh, there's Musset on the ball. But no, it's Mousset. I've got that now. But a good ball out from Rui Patricio. But João Moutinho very nearly scores there, but just far too high. Is this going to be one of those matches where we have an unexpected defeat and we're tearing our hair out because it goes to the final day? I really hope not, but we seem to be having all of the ball here. It's just all about getting a decent chance. But, Sheffield United a bit similar to Burnley in that regard, but a good ball out. Daniel Podence, all he has to do is beat the keeper, and a good save from Aaron Ramsdale's near post. I think really we made it a little bit easy for him then. But looking at the domination we seem to be having at this point, you would think that we've got a very good chance of getting something out of this match. But that's not always the way it goes, I suppose. We've got Lys Mousset on the ball. Good challenge there from Nelson Semedo on the right. He's been a good player this year. Obviously not an investment we made, an investment that the club made themselves before we joined, but good signing. Surely this can't be 2-0. Oliver Lorwood, Willy Bolly with a good clearance there. This could be a counter-attack. Daniel Podence down the left wing. One of our players of the season, no doubt about that. Daniel Podence into the box. Not quite happening there, but Ruben Neves still on the ball. João Moutinho back to Podence, and the player that started the move gets the finish. It was the assist from João Moutinho, and it's Daniel Podence's 11th goal of the season. And this is exactly what I'm saying. How do you replace these attackers? You've got Raul Jimenez, I suppose we could do with a younger striker at the club. There is some element to that, I suppose. But Daniel Podence, Pedro Neto, they are shoo-ins, aren't they, in the attacking midfield spots? I think they even get in over Adama Traore now. And I know there's some interest, or at least some media interest. In fact, no, Oli got a Solskjaer. But anyway, João Moutinho scored, but I think that one's offside probably. But Adama Traore is under interest from... Well, we'll have a look at VAR before. Jimenez was offside. I thought he might have been. Adama Traore has got some interest from Manchester United, yeah. I mean, Jimenez was offside. Yeah, he did hit Jimenez, so that did put Aaron Ramsdale off guard. So fair enough, I'm happy with that being given as an offside. I don't mind that at all. But about 35 million, apparently Manchester United are looking to play for Adama Traore. I don't know how much Wolves paid for him, but I'm sure that would be a profit. And you know what? I'm trying to build a young squad of players here, and I don't think Traore going to be a bad thing. Yeah, I'm going to say I'm not happy with your performance, although secretly I'm fairly pleased because we are way out ahead in terms of the possession stakes. We've just got to make it count with a victory. Fulham are leading at the moment, so I would like to close this out today because we could get very frightened in that last match. We have got Newcastle up next. That's not an easy game. I think it's away from home as well. So let's get that winner today and make sure that the next match is just a filler, just a dead rubber. But Sheffield United might have something to say about that. They want to save their season. A lovely ball from Moutinho. Nobody on the end of it, though. I thought that Pedro Neto, perhaps on the right there, would have ran through, but it doesn't always happen, I suppose. But good intent there from Jay Moutinho. But can Neto make up for it here? He shoots, and Aaron Ramsdale has to make a good save. It goes, he parries it into the crowd, and we get a corner with 25 minutes to go. Podence with another shot, and Aaron Ramsdale gets the save. So we've had 12 shots. Our XG is significantly higher than Sheffield United. We've got 60% of possession. We should be looking really here to do something. I mean, Jeremy Tito's had a 7.7 rating. Very impressive. So we're going to bring Den Donker on. I'm going to also bring Shabani off for Pacheco. We're going to take a risk, make our substitutions now. And Pacheco did very well in that Brighton game earlier on in the season as a poacher. So we're looking to emulate that formula. See if he can do the same here. Nick the winner for us because, as I said, it would take a lot of pressure off. So obviously, the Fulham game's not over. They haven't really been too convincing. They're only 1-0 up, so the margin very slim there. But can we get the winning goal here? Whatever Fulham do, if we get the 3 points, it is all over. But can Sheffield United rain on our parade, at least for today? Connor Cody back to Rui Patricio. Patricio just playing it nice and calm. That's good. Not looking to distribute too quickly. Although the pass is a bit of an ill-fated one out to the Sheffield United defender. Brewster with the ball across to Moussa. Moussa shoots. Oh, wow. Hits the post as Moussa there. We really get away with one. We really do. But I do feel like this is one of those matches. I mean, we have made the 3 subs now. We've brought Den Donker on. We've brought Pacheco on. Have we made the 3 subs? No, we haven't. So we have got room to make one more. I'm happy with that then. We'll bring Hover on for Semedo. We're going to go very attacking because 3 points would be crucial here. It's a risk because Sheffield United could nick this game off us. That would be really harrowing to see. But it's the risk you take, I guess. But I would feel a bit sick if Sheffield United went and got the winner now. Lundstrom on the ball. Can we get a counter-attack going? Sanderberg. Lundstrom. Chris Basham. Playing as a winger, not a centre-back, obviously, today. Lundstrom. Can we win the ball back? That's a good ball to Brewster, but oh, thank God for that. We breathe a sigh of relief. Patricio, get it out. Can we start an attack? Patricio over the top. No, not really. I mean, Sheffield United are playing well here, but a poor ball from Norwood. It finds Den Donker. Neto, can we make this work? Neto with a stupid shot from there. An absolutely crap. I was going to say crap. Yeah, terrible finish. And the fact that Chelsea are behind as well. Oh, we've got 3.5 minutes to go here. Can we do something? Fire up the lads. I mean, a late win. We secure Europa League football, and we've also still got a potential chance of finishing in 5th. I don't think it's going to happen. I think it's too little too late for us here. Yeah, I think it is. We're a bit unlucky. Only 1 each, but with that, I think we do qualify for some sort of continental football. I think it's the Europa Conference League, which is the Europa League 2. It wasn't good enough, that wasn't, simply put. We should have won that. Good game, yeah, for Daniel Podence, but disappointing. We now can't finish 5th, unfortunately. Chelsea are going to secure 5th. I think that's a sigh of relief for Frank Lampard's side. But if we'd have won, we'd have kept our hopes alive. But we do qualify for Europe. Leeds United only drew against West Ham, so we have got enough of a buffer to keep 6th place. But the crucial thing is now, it goes down to the last game. With a win against Sheffield United, it would have been all over. But alas, it's not. We need to go and beat Newcastle, really, or at least draw and hope that Fulham don't win. Because if we don't win, well, if Fulham beat us in the table, we're only going to be playing in the 2nd Europa League. I'd rather be playing in the main competition, personally. Well, before we embark on our final match of the season, let's have a quick look at what we're actually playing for today. Let's have a look at what we'll get next year if we win this match. Now, the Europa League, just looking on a basic scale, If we were to get to the final of the Europa League next year, we get 7 million in terms of prize money. Actually, if we win it, we get 7 million in prize money. If we get to the final of the Conference League next year, we get 2.5 million prize money. Now, I'm not going to go through all of these, but I'll go through the semi-final, why not? Semi-final, 730k, it's 2.1 million. So, roughly, based on those two figures, the prize money that's going to come from the Conference League, which is effectively Europa League number 2, is a third of what the Europa League offers. And the Europa League's a competition we've been in before, and that's what we're playing for today. It'll be a really important match today, definitely will. And I'm really looking forward to this. We've got a game against Newcastle. Our opponents, if you like, have got Manchester United. The league not finished yet. 3rd, 4th and 5th are decided. Liverpool and Arsenal have secured Champions League space. It's great to see Arsenal back in the Champions League. They haven't been there for a few years now. Looks like it's going to be Callum Wilson who takes the top goal scorer. And I was a bit questionable at that. I thought, how did he shine? Well, when Arsenal lost 6-0 to Newcastle a few weeks ago, Wilson scored 5, so that massively helped him out. But Fulham take on Man United. That's not a match you'd expect them to get anything out of, but you just simply never know. It's the last day. Absolutely anything could happen. We are going to go with the side that's played for most of the games this year. And, you go, why not? Why on earth would you not go for that formula that's worked before? But, yeah, we'll qualify for the Europa League if we win here. All we can hope for is if we win. Again, we are... with the match against being a dead rubber. How is it a dead rubber? It's like our biggest game of the season, surely. It's the difference between finishing 6th and 7th. And that really this year, particularly given the difference between the Europa League and the Europa Conference League, is absolutely massive. So, I'll be a bit worried here if we lose this match. That's something that could happen, but again, anything can happen in life. I'm just hoping that Fulham lose their match. You would think they're not going to get anything against Manchester United, but as I alluded to before, it's the final day of the season. Anything could happen. Let's see what happens here, though. 7 minutes in at St James's Park. That away atmosphere isn't going to help us particularly, and I'll tell you what, we get a little bit lucky there. Miguel Almiron can't quite get to that. I think he's caught napping a little bit there. But as long as you can get a point here, I don't think that Fulham are going to get 3. They might just sneak 1. But, if they match us, that's not enough. They've got to beat us in terms of points. So, if we can get a point here, if we can get a draw, that's okay. But I was fearing that might have happened early on. Newcastle seem to have had quite a lot of the play early on. And they've took an early lead 8 minutes in here. Now, it might well be we cancel each other out. It might well be that Fulham lose and we lose. And I'd be quite happy with that. But for now, well, obviously I didn't think about that. Willy Bolly's injured, which is a worry. Hopefully that's not a long-term thing. We'll bring Max Kilman on to replace him. Obviously, I forgot that our goal difference is better than Fulham, so Fulham need to win. That I'm quite happy with that, actually. Fulham need to beat Man United. So looking at it from that aspect, we should be home and dry, but football's a strange game sometimes. So get a draw, and it should all be over, theoretically. Get a win, and it's definitely over, but, if Manchester United bottle it and lose to Fulham on the final day, a very capable Fulham, you don't get 60-odd points for nothing, do you, for goodness sake? But a very capable Fulham. I'd still be amazed if they got a result against United. But Pedro Neto, with his 11th goal of the season, puts us level with Newcastle. That takes the pressure off a little bit. Thank God for that. Now, if we can get a second and win the match, it is really all over. Now, I had a check, actually, at our previous positions, and it looks fairly nice. In their first season back in the Premier League... this is only Wolves' 3rd season back, I think. We'll have a quick check while we're here. Why not? We'll just interrupt the game very quickly for a second. Their first season back in the Premier League. Yeah, I know all these stats now. I was just checking. Their first season back in the Premier League. Unbelievable. This is only Wolves' 3rd season back in the Premier League. It's a tight offside, but it'll count, so that's fine. They got 57 points first time round. Last season, they got 59 points. And as it stands, we are on 64. So that's a really nice progression, isn't it, from where they are. And this 64 points total will be their highest points total ever in the Premier League. Even when they won the league in the 50s, because when they won the league in 59, wins only saw clubs get 2 points. I think they took 28 wins and 5 draws and 9 losses. It was 42 games back then. Don't worry, I don't remember it. I was checking the stats. But yeah, so they only got, what would that be, 28 times 2. So they got 61 points. So we're going to get Wolves' biggest points total in the Premier League in our first season in charge. It's a fantastic achievement, and I really think whatever happens today, we've done a great job. We really have with this Wolves side, considering that, oh no, Semedo's given a foul away here. It's going to be a VAR decision, but let's be honest, that looked like quite a rash tackle. It's going to be a penalty, isn't it? They're not going to overturn this, you wouldn't have thought. That's the only thing. Semedo has given away too many fouls this year. He's had 11 yellow cards. No penalty. They've overturned it. Yay! And to go with our jubilation, Man United have scored at Fulham. Yay! To be fair, they've scored at Old Trafford. They're not playing at Fulham. Anyway, it could be a triple whammy here if we get 2-1 up. All the jubilation could start, but equally it could go downhill if Almiron finished that off. But a good save there from Rui Patricio. He put it out for a corner kick. And with Fulham being 1-0 down, even at this point, if we lose to Newcastle, I can't see Fulham winning this 2-1 again. And they need a win. And we're not going to lose by 10 or something stupid like that. There's not going to be a massive goal swing. Good ball in from Ruben Neves to Raul Jimenez. He can't quite finish it off. Let's be honest, though. I'd like to end the season well. I really would like to end the season off with a cracker. But Jeff Hendrick might have different desires. He puts Newcastle 2-1 up, and Ruben Semedo is really tired. So we're making changes, not really where we want to make them. We've already made 2 changes in defence. Willy Bolly's come off, and obviously now Ruben Semedo has come off, and now we've got Pedro Neto injured. We might be forced into another change, and we can't really do too much manoeuvring. But could we go and equalise for the second time? So let's have a look. Ruben Neves, Tajay Matinho, Shabani, Aitner. You can't really get past this Newcastle defence, can we? Shabani still. Ruben Neves, can he make anything from there? No, poor pass from Neves. I'll tell you what, in the last few matches, Neves has made a few questionable passes, and again, that's Neves' fault, isn't it? 3-1 Newcastle now, and it's a bit of a bitter pill to swallow. You never want to lose a football match, but we know in our heart of hearts that we should qualify for the Europa League, unless there's a freak result. So, for once, I think I'm just about okay with losing. Neto is injured, so I'm going to swap Podence and Neto about. I mean, the cracking thing about these 2 wingers is that they're versatile. They can play on either wing, and that is a manager's dream, because if either one gets injured, you can replace one with the other, and it's happy days. It looks like it's all over, though. It looks like we're going to get 6th place, despite a defeat here against Newcastle. Fulham are 2-0 down now against Man United. They're not going to bring that back, and a good season is rounded off with, maybe a bit of a panicked 6th place. At the end of the season, it wasn't really what we were looking for, but we could still get a point here. Shabani gets a 2nd for Wolves, a player who has, been pretty decent this year. He's been pretty good in that central attacking midfield position. Whether we use him next year, I don't know, but he's certainly been useful for us. Danny Pacheco's been a good signing. He's shown a glimpse of positivity. Balotelli hasn't worked for us, has he? I mean, he's the only signing that hasn't worked for us. Jack Watmore came in as a backup figure, so he's had a few games. He's not been too bad at all. But I think Balotelli will be one we make a profit on. I wouldn't be surprised to see him go through the door this summer. But we knew when we signed him he was going to be a backup player. There was no secret about that. And because of the form of Jimenez, we haven't needed him. But he's another player that's garnered interest from his former manager, Nuno, at Tottenham. They're willing to pay 45 million for him, and it's tempting. It is tempting, given he's 30 years of age now. Do we cash in? We've made all our subs now. We can't change anything, unfortunately. We can get very attacking and just hope for a late equaliser. But it looks like we're going to get defeated today. It'd be great if we can get a late equaliser. But fantastic. A run down the wing from Kijana Hova, but it doesn't quite happen there. But it could well be the opposite. Newcastle might just secure this game with a 4-2 victory. Connor Cody with a good challenge there. Good stuff. Can we get a chance? Danny Podence running through. Don't have a stupid shot there. I mean, the pass wasn't much better than him taking on the shot. If you don't buy a ticket, as they say, you're never going to win the raffle. Callum Wilson with a poor shot there. It looks like we are going to be narrowly defeated today by Newcastle. I'll tell you what, though, every time I say that, my players want to prove me wrong, don't they? We've got another chance here. Danny Pacheco into the box. I mean, it was more of a shot than a cross there, but I said if you don't buy a ticket, you'll never win the raffle. So Danny Pacheco was obviously listening to that message, wasn't he? Shabani on the ball now. Can we get a late equaliser? Matinho can't quite find Danny Pacheco. I feel like there's going to be a goal here for one of the sides. And there we go. See, anything I say, it's like when I'm watching the F1. I'll say something, the commentators will point it out 20 seconds later. It's almost like the players can read my mind. And okay, we've been beaten by Newcastle today. But in the grand scheme of things, what are people going to be bothered about? Our loss against Newcastle or us qualifying for the Europa League? I know which one I'm bothered about. But can we get a goal back? We can. Daniel Podence makes it 4-3. 2 goals in injury time. I mean, it's probably been one of the biggest scoring games of the season. I don't think I've had a game like this where there's been big goals for either side. We've been beaten 5-0 and beaten the sides 5-0 ourselves, but we've not particularly had games like this when it's been end-to-end. But we are going to be defeated by Newcastle today. It's a narrow victory. I'm not too fussed in the end because we do qualify for the Europa League. We finished 6th in the Premier League, and that rounds out a fantastic season. We're going to say to the boys we were unlucky because we know we've qualified for the Europa League, and we were only narrowly defeated. How does it feel to secure qualification to the Europa League for the first time ever? Though that's not necessarily true, is it, for Wolves? I'm pretty sure you know exactly how I feel. I think that's fair enough. It's been a fantastic season. It really has. Blah, 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 blah. Got no complaints about added time. Yeah, it was stressful. We played well. We weren't too bad at all. But as you can see, with that, we finished 6th in the Premier League. Brighton, Sheffield United and Southampton are relegated. So for the first time in a long time, all of the 3 clubs that are promoted stay up. Of course, with that victory, Manchester United win the league. Man City, Liverpool and Arsenal take the places of the Champions League. Chelsea and ourselves qualify for the Europa League. And Fulham get continental football. An incredible season for them. They qualify for the, what's it called? The Euro Conference Cup, whatever it's called. I've forgotten now. But a thriller. Ooh, Willy Bolly's out for 3 months. So hopefully he'll be back for the start of next season. But it's going to be tight. Semedo out for a few days and Neto out for a few days. So I've got no problem with that. We qualify for the 2021 Europa League. I'm happy with that. Balotelli wanted us to qualify for the Europa League, as we did. We're going to send our assistant to that press conference. And a good season. Funnily enough, the club aren't particularly happy with it. I had a quick check at the club vision before we started the last game, and they're particularly devastated with the signings, but we've not needed to make any signings. It's fairly clear I'm happy with the side we've got, although that might change this summer, particularly if some of our big boys get some interest from some bigger clubs, the likes of Tottenham, Manchester. I mean, Tottenham aren't a bigger club than us now. Did they finish in the top 10 in the end, did Tottenham? They did. They finished in 9th place, but only narrowly. Poor season for Leicester. That's their worst finish for a few years. I'm surprised Brendan Rodgers is still in the job. Rodgers might well get the push in a little while because they are 13 points off qualification for Europe. I mean, it's not like Tottenham. Okay, they had a bad start, but Nuno has just come into the club. He's done a decent job. The same really applies for Everton. They've got to be disappointed there with Ancelotti. But yeah, West Brom have a good season. We've got 3 Midlands clubs in the Premier League next year. Let's have a look at who's going to be joining them. Norwich, Bournemouth, so both of those clubs bounced back. Who else went down? Watford, they didn't go up. I mean, given that Miles from SO's a Watford fan, that's a surprise. But we're going to see either Reading or Nottingham Forest in the Premier League. Great. My dad's a Forest fan. I'd like to see Forest back, or either Reading. But you'll see next episode who joins Norwich and Bournemouth in the Premier League. But that rounds out season 1 of the Wolves beta save. A very good season. 63 points. We qualified for the Europa League, finished 6th. We beat Tottenham, Everton, Leicester. You would have effectively expected those 3 positions to have been flipped. What I mean by that, you'd have expected Tottenham, Everton and Leicester to have finished 6, 7 and 8. And us, Fulham and Leeds to have finished 9, 10, 11. I have to say, out of all of them, Fulham are the biggest overachievers. What a performance by them. We were expected to finish 8th, and we finished 6th. I'll take that every day of the week. Manchester United compounded expectations as well, to be fair. They were expected to finish 4th, and they won the league. They got Southampton and Brighton going down correct, and they were pretty close with Sheffield United, but as you can see, they expected Fulham to finish 16th, so a big overachievement for them. They got it about right with Leeds, so the odds weren't too far off, apart from a few surprises. But a good season for us. We overachieve. So come back tomorrow. We will have the start of Season 2. We're going to be doing Season 2. We're going to be doing the whole of Season 2. The beta save will probably run into the full game, a few days into the full game, but I'm really enjoying this save, so I definitely want to play a full second season. And after that, we will start our main save, which I'll allude to in a few days' time. But enjoy it. I'm certainly going to enjoy a bit of a summer break. I'm recording these a bit of a way ahead, so I'm going to have a bit of a chill for the rest of the night now, and come back tomorrow with a fresh mind and see if we can do some good transfer business in the summer. We've got 30 odd million to spend, and that might be more if one of our big players leaves the club. But I have to say, the reaction to the beat has been great. Thank you for your support so far. Make sure to leave a like on the video if you enjoyed as well. That always helps out. And long may the support continue. I'm really happy with the support from you guys, but we're going to call it a day there. I appreciate it's been a long episode, a long ramble from me, but hope you've enjoyed. Comment down below your thoughts of the season, any maybe transfer suggestions for next year, what you think we ought to do. Do we sell Jimenez? I mean, he's 30. If we can get rid of him for 40 odd million, it seems a no-brainer. Really does to me. Really does to me. I mean, we signed him for 34 million, so we're looking to make a profit on that, definitely, but it'd be a risky one given he's had a good season, but you know, I think money talks, doesn't it? So if we get a good offer for him, who knows? But you'll see all that tomorrow. I'm going to stop rambling now. Thank you for watching. Subscribe if you're new for daily FM21 content. But for now, thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys tomorrow at 4 PM. Be there or be square, and I'll see you guys for the start of Season 2 tomorrow at 4 PM. Thank you for watching, and goodbye for now.
Wolves will take the goal.